My name is Plat. I'm 21 years old and I'm from Berlin, Germany. I think being in solidarity with other people means to help them, to form a group and to work together to achieve the group's goals. Okay, so I'll just tell the story. I moved to Berlin in 2014, and when I moved there, they were building the first container village in Berlin in the street I live in. So for me, it was seeing with my own eyes how this village was built, and in addition, there were these neo-Nazi protests going through our streets. So I saw these people in their black cloaks and clothes with torches going through the street and protesting against the refugees. And I learned in school about this, and I moved to Berlin because it's such a liberal city and a modern city. And so I was actually really shocked when I saw this out of the kitchen window. And so I decided that I would like to try to make a change or volunteer there, and so I got into contact with the village. In school I started around 10th grade, and I was helping with homeworks, for instance, or in the students' council, and that's how I got into these things, and it was just nice to give something back to the school and these society, which helped me to grow up. Well, as a child, my family wasn't doing that well, and they got a lot of help from the church, and I think that's where I got this idea of helping people from. I'm a student, so I volunteer about maybe 2 hours or 3 hours a week, and we did German classes on Saturdays where we met in a room and with other volunteers and the refugees, and then most times we had some coffee or tea, and we were just talking and asking how the weeks were and how the refugees feel, if they have any special problems or concerns they would like to talk about with us. One friend started to volunteer with me, and I think my family was also kind of happy and maybe even inspired, and started some projects themselves. So I'm glad that this is just expanding and people are getting into it. So when I first started there 3 years ago, it was mainly about doing this simple vocabulary like, hello, my name is, I'm from, I'm so and so many years old. And I even had to do some alphabetization because there was a young woman who wasn't able to read or write, and so we taught her how to do this. But the students, or the refugees, got better and better in German, and so our work changed over the time. And as I said, we went from doing the simple stuff into doing normal conversations, just talking about daily life, writing CVs or letters, and I think that's what they really need now. And really recently we are doing some gaming evenings with some refugees, just at our home, and drinking a cup of tea, playing some card games. And it's just so nice to not only do this artificial setting, but actually, but getting together as friends. There was one moment when one refugee who was doing really well in school and with his German, and he was about to, they wanted to send him back to his home country. So one of our volunteers said, okay, I'll hide him. I'll take him with me home today, and we'll just we'll just try to get around this. And then he really tried everything together with the other volunteers, and they talked to lawyers, they talked to the officials, and somehow it's like a miracle. They managed it, that he was able to stay, and they are sharing a flat still, and it's like a family now. And this refugee is now becoming a kind of architect, and he already designed a house where they will live in the future. So it's so nice how this worked out. But it was actually a frightening moment when they said he's about to have to leave and has to go back to his country. And we were afraid, because hiding him is some sort of, So on the one hand, it's these academic achieves. So you talk to someone and they have a question and you can answer it, and for them it's like, okay, now it makes sense, and I get the point in here. So that is really great, because you notice that you did something and you actually help people. On the other hand, there is, if you just met with one refugee for an hour and just talked to him, and these people are often so thankful afterwards. I mean, for me, it's just an hour of my life I'm dedicating, and I'm sitting there and talking. But for them, it's these chance to express and to talk to other people, learn about culture. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm giving here some good things, but it's, if you look in their eyes, it's just these really deep thankfulness you see, and that's amazing. Back then, with this woman, we tried to help her to learn reading and writing. There was one situation where she said, okay, she and her husband, we would like to invite you, so me and my cohabitant, to come to them to dinner. And we were just expecting something small, like a little talking session. And they cooked rice and meat, and it was so nice. And they even got this German beer, because I'm not a big fan of beer, but they were like, you're German, you have to love beer. And I mean, they just wanted to say thank you and give something back. And that was so amazing, and it tasted so good. And I'm so thankful for this sharing of their small amounts. I'm really glad. Yeah, I mean, the communication is of course sometimes a challenge, but I mean, by explaining and using modern technologies, it's almost always possible to translate somehow and find a way to communicate. Maybe it's sometimes complicated to talk about their homes, where they came from, why they came, things they have experienced, and so that's sometimes maybe an issue where you have to be on an empathic way and support them. So I would like to encourage young people to just get to know one refugee and do something with him. So maybe go to the cinema, take a look at a movie, just play a board game, whatever. And if this could be somehow supported, like the tickets are for free and they get to the cinema so that there are no costs for the students, but still, taking a look at that there is no misuse of the system, that would maybe be a good idea, just to find partners, tandems, whatever you would like to call it, who could just become friends, or just get to know each other. That's a better way to put it, and maybe become friends, because I think that's the real key, and it's for students such a great opportunity to learn about other cultures, other ideas, and just to widen their mind to new things. I think it depends on the things you're actually doing. So if you're trying to teach German, then you probably should talk a lot, and you should like to talk, and you should also be able to communicate in a friendly way, so not just only saying, yeah, that's wrong, but doing critics in a positive way, so that you can encourage the people to go on, learn further, and yeah, show them what is possible if you just try and yeah. I think I learned a lot about other cultures and different countries, but also it takes the fear from a person to be in some place on its own. I know it's hard for the refugees to be here, but there are people like the volunteers who are welcoming them, who are helping them, and I think that's a great thing to know, that maybe all about the world there are kind people, and that you'll never be lost or something like this. I did things I wouldn't have done on my own and at home. And also I've got the chance to get to know so many people from so many different countries who are into the same thing. But it's just so great to see what's going on out there, and to get this network and to know so many fascinating people volunteering and having their own lives, and meet here, talking about these things, and then yeah, just becoming becoming friends in about 4 days, and that's just amazing. I wouldn't have thought it.